I knew I was going to go right up front and say I did not have all the answers, but I have a son who, we could not afford to send to this school, so we're going to talk about that too later. But I'm going to give you a pop quiz because it is about school, and this is so fun. When you get out of school, you never expect it to happen. Today it's going to happen. So here's my question. My first one is, does anyone know, and I brought my friend, this is Carol Logan, she cannot answer anything. Because she would ace it, but crying knowledge. But does anyone know why Hidden Treasure even got started? So can you tell us what do you remember, what do you know?
After Bond's house caught on fire and his daughter was in the fire and he was able to.
That's right. That's right. Pastor Vaughn, when he had him and his five, well, 4 kids at that time, was doing everything he could to support that family. He did yard work and he put a gasoline can on the porch and his 2-year-old got in it. His wife was cooking on an open flame in gas, open flame too. She saw what was going. The mother picked her up, Mrs. Vaughn, but Becky got burned over 90% of her body, and that meant her fingers fell off. So when Becky was time for her to go to school, she didn't have fingers, and he realized there was not a private school with a Christian education that would be able to accommodate her. And someone started telling him, you ought to help others like you and start one. And that is literally how Hidden Treasure got started. In fact, the first, Becky and another girl who had Down syndrome, and she, of all things, actually just died this summer. In her 40s, they're about 46, 47, I think. So that's kind of the interesting on that. Next question. Do you know what began this year at Hidden Treasure? Laura does because she said it. It's something that's actually been asked for a long time. Why don't you? Why don't you? But, you know, we all know because we're in this community, why don't you can be a financial reason. It can also be a space reason, but our adult education started. And how we started it is, and it's going on right now, we took 4 alumni, and it is guys, the teacher's a man, and they're doing agribusiness. And it is very interesting, and I have to tell you, because he's doing an excellent job of taking these boys, and one of the things he does, among other things he does, we have been allowed to rent a farm that's in Travelers Rest. So every day they meet at the school, they have Bible, and then they go off. And he told me, they have done this route to Travelers Rest, right? Over and over and over. Now these are 22 and above, you know, 21, 22, 23-year-olds. And he now says whoever sits in the front seat is now the navigator. And when they tell him to turn, he will turn. And that's how you find out who knows how to draw. So it's this new experience they're all getting. They've been part of a farmer's market. They've learned how to scale. They feed chickens and turkeys every day. There's some cows and baby calves they got to pad. And so they have literally, because one thing I've learned in this community with some parents is they kind of keep their kids at home and protect them, and they don't necessarily get all these experiences. Well, these boys are in shell shock with all these new experiences, and they are loving it, but it's really neat. He is hoping next year to open it to the public and to grow it next year. And women, I know that he has been in discussion with like a culinary school who will work with our kids. So the future is wide open, as you would know. So my last question, this is my last question for you guys. Oh, one other thing we did start was some of the special needs camp. And it's only for 3 hours. And we have, and that was a picture you came earlier, a little boy. Oh my word, it was amazing. The kids had so much fun. We had a search and rescue dog. We had a police comfort dog that played Duck, Duck, Goose with our kids. And that was cool because he really did. Very obedient dog. We had firemen, and it was so cute because when the firemen came, they actually got called as they were talking to the kids at camp. They were having so much fun. The firemen said, "We'll be back, we'll be back." And an hour later, they did come back, and they let the kids go all over the fire truck. So I thought that was so funny. And then my last question for you is, do you have any idea how the average family can afford the $20,500 a year tuition it is to come to our school? Got very quiet. Okay, that is. And
waivers.
that's exactly, it is, there is the parent tax credit that a child that has the diagnosis from a doctor and psychologist can get up to $11,000 a year for their child in school. That's huge. And then there is the SFO, or the Scholarship Funding Organization, and as I was told, those two talk together. So say you get the Scholarship Funding Organization and they give you, say, $6,000. Well, then the parent tax credit will not ever go, they'll give you $5 to go to 11. Does that make sense? So those two talk to each other, and that is funded by corporations and by individuals for tax benefits, but they channel it for special needs families. So that's really neat. And then we do have a Hidden Treasure Scholarship. We, has any of you who are in disability community know, fundraise, fundraise, fundraise. So we just had our Walk Fest for the kids. It is really a neat time for the kids. The families are all there. We had our largest one this year. I think everyone was tired of COVID when no one could do this. And they just busted out, and we had, I think, around 400 to 500 there. And there's carnival games, a live auction, you name it, we could have had it. Dunking tank, cotton candy and funnel cake. So you're welcome to come next year in October. It's always in October, and that is for the community. That was really neat. That was exciting. The kids have so much fun. And since we are a special needs school and we don't have athletics, this is like their thing. This is like, they have the shirt, they can wear for PE, and it's like, I've been there. We have a lady right now making a quilt for our school of the Walk Fest shirts, because there's always a logo on the back. It's a theme. It always changes colors. It's like the big reveal, and she's going to make a quilt of that, because that is something that kindergarten, high school, hey, I have that shirt. Hey, I have that. Hey, I'm wearing that one. You know, so that's one of the things that's going to be happening that Chicago Day, because another new thing is this Sunday night is our church's school night for the Hidden Treasure, and our mascot and our school colors are going to be revealed. And so at 41 years, we have not had, when I started working last January full-time, I said, so what's our school colors? What's our mascot? They go, we don't have one. I'm like, oh, okay. We didn't have one. We're a school. So we are getting it. The kids all chimed in. It was really cute. Another cute thing, some of the teachers, rather than send them home, did it as a class. So if you were in the downstairs classroom with the adult Hidden Treasure kids, you would have been a tiger. You would be a tiger. If you were in the 6th grade class, 5th, 6th grade, you would be the cheetahs. I would just say this much, we're not either one. But I'm not saying anything more. So Sunday night they're going to reveal that, and that's going to be exciting for our school. So I'm going to show you this. It's 7 minutes. This is not as new as I wish it could be, but this is just a little introduction about our school. Can you hear? No?
Not really.
Can you hear?
Can't hear the ball.
So, I'm not going to even mess with that because there's nothing more frustrating than not being able to hear. That is the inside middle of our school. That doesn't really tell you a lot. But we have downstairs, we have a home ec, fully equipped home ec with washer and dryer for the kids, for the students to learn. Any of the teachers can use it, cook cookies, no matter what your grade. Anyone can use it, but especially for the adult kids, the ones who
What's your grade again?
It's K through 12, thank you. We are K through 12. So that is one of the things that makes Hidden Treasure unique and special. So, if you're a parent, you understand there's a strain, there's a challenge when you find out that your child has delays. Our first child that we adopted, we have 6, we adopted 5 of the 6, but our first adopted child, when he was 3, right before he was 3, I realized he was saying, Mama, Dad, Dad. And that was pretty much it. And I talked to a pediatrician, and he wasn't concerned yet, but he sent us to the Center for Developmental Pediatrics. And they did the whole team on him, and sure enough, he had a speech delay, and they started working with him. So since before he was 3 through 2nd grade, he had speech therapy once or twice a week, all those years. And you would never know it today. And so we're very thankful, but one of the things they told us when he was 4, they said usually when you have a speech delay or like this, it can be, there's some educational delays. Well, they were right. So we were prepared that much. But I say that because Hidden Treasure is full of parents like this, where everything looks fine, and then you start realizing, and I know most of you work with parents who are coping with that change in the family, the change that the perfect happily ever after you wanted for your child may not be quite what you want. And it has been an interesting thing to be a part at this stage in life. I just became an empty nester, my husband and I, about a year and a half ago. And yay, but just going there. But I love having my kids, I love having visit, I love having them go back. But one of the things I like is I have the energy because I'm not still raising my kids to help families go through what I know. And I'm on that end. And there's a lot of satisfaction, all of you with your jobs, of helping a family get through moments and keep coping and keep pushing on. And Hidden Treasure is a loving, Christian-based place. There is no bullying. I mean, like, none. Everyone is accepted. Everyone is accepted as they are unique from God to be made the way they are. There is no accidents with God, and there is no mistakes with God. And their whole self-esteem. One of the things I've learned from, I got to sub some last year with the teenagers. The power went out, we had that bad storm, and they were calling the parents to come get the kids because Wade Hampton was already out, power were parallel to Wade Hampton. And I was subbing in an English class, and I said, guys, just want you to know, they're calling your parents, they're going to send you home, so be prepared. And two of the boys, and I'll never forget this, said, oh no. And because I would have been, yes! No, I said, guys, no homework. Mrs. Goodwin, and I'll never forget this because it was a moment for me. This strapping football player size boy said, Mrs. Goodwin, when I go home, my brothers are all at work. I'm the last one at home. And he goes, these are my friends. I don't want to go home. There's no one there. I mean, 16-year-old. And he goes, when I was in the, no offense, public school, he said, all I did was make D's and F's. And he goes, I don't do that here. He goes, I love it here. I don't want to miss school. Now, I don't know about you, but that would not have been my story at 16. I would have been out that door as fast as I could. And then another boy chimed in, and he's an only child, and he said, these are my friends. I don't want to go home. There's no one. And it just really occurred to me that Hidden Treasure is giving these kids a safe place, the teenagers especially, who are aware of things, to view themselves not as failures, but success, that they can learn. And what Hidden Treasure does is they test, and that is how everybody starts. They take your test, and then they start you where you already passed, where below, so that you start off strong. And then if you're in second grade here, third grade here, fifth grade here, then you're in second grade here, and third grade here, fifth grade. Our ratio is 1 to 3. On the fourth one, our administrator will get an aide or a co-teacher. And that is the success for Hidden Treasure. There is a lot of hope because when you have that one-on-one or one-on just a couple, there is a lot you can do when you can explain and encourage them. And you're just, you're mentoring, you're teaching, but you're getting them through. And if they get stuck on a concept, you don't rush on. If they get stuck on a concept, you say until you find a way to get it through their head. Because we all know in math, you can't skip. You can't multiply if you can't add and subtract. I'm doing that now with 2 girls. Right now I get to work 2 hours in the classroom. Woo! Thank you. Should we start?
The notches, the cuts, the sizing. And to understand that is to understand how Hidden Treasure Christian School and Faith Christian Academy work. It's a place rooted in Scripture. It's a place where a focused, custom approach to teaching helps unlock each and every child's potential. Hidden Treasure Christian School was founded in 1981 by Pastor John Vaughn after a house fire left his daughter with severe injuries. Dr. Vaughn realized that if his daughter's spiritual, emotional, physical, and academic needs were to be met, they would not be met in a traditional school. And he found there were other people in the community searching for the same thing. When the doors were opened that first year, the students met in a 50 by 50 metal building. Today, Hidden Treasure provides for the needs of young people with varying challenges, including autism, Asperger's syndrome, Down syndrome, and developmental delays in a 28,000 square foot facility on a quiet campus a few miles from downtown Greenville. Families from across the country and even other countries have moved to the area for the specialized and individualized instruction that Hidden Treasure offers. It's safe to say Hidden Treasure has come a long way.
One of the greatest things about Hidden Treasure for me as a parent is that it's safe here. It's a safe environment. It's a place where Rachel can be Rachel without concerns of what someone may think of her, or concerns of there's a possibility that there's danger or who she may come in contact with that may have a bad influence. All of those concerns that we have as parents for our children with special needs, those don't exist here at Hidden Treasure. And this is the best place to get the best education if you have a child with special needs.
You're very, as a mom, you're very trepidatious. You're very concerned about the environment for your child. Will he be bullied? Will he be treated kindly and patiently? And I remember I walked into the school and I was amazed by the peace. You just felt total at peace and confident about the school, mostly because it was so quiet and welcoming.
Part of the key to unlocking a child's potential is an understanding that each child is unique, and at Hidden Treasure, children are viewed as individuals created and designed by a loving God who has a specific purpose in mind for each one of them. The staff's responsibility is to uncover that purpose and then help each child achieve it. There's nothing standardized about it. Sharing a campus and philosophy with Hidden Treasure Christian School is Faith Christian Academy. Called out of the Hidden Treasure program in 2008, Faith Christian Academy is structured for students diagnosed with what is often referred to as a hidden disability or a learning disability. These disabilities may be in math, reading, or language. Some of these students face challenges such as ADD and ADHD, and typically they score in the average to above average range of intelligence. They simply need a little help in reaching their potential, whether that be attaining a high school diploma or transitioning to a traditional environment. Hidden Treasure and Faith Christian Academy have been blessed by God, and blessed by a faithful group of supporters in a local community and across the country. The schools receive no government funding. They depend on the gifts and generosity of those sensitive to the needs of young people with special needs. As you can imagine, the cost to provide specialized instruction is extremely high. But one thing Hidden Treasure strives to do is make sure every child who needs a place can afford a place.
Having a Christian special needs school for my son Ryan especially has made a normal life possible for him. He's gotten to make friends. He's got to go on field trips. He's gotten to sing and carol at Christmas time and help broaden the awareness of Hidden Treasure.
It's a place where your child will be told what they can do. Your child will be guided, will be taught, and they will be prepared. And they will never tell you that your child cannot do something. The word can't doesn't exist.
One thing's for sure, every child who comes through our doors will receive the personal attention and tailored instruction necessary to ensure that his or her potential is realized. The door is there. You just need a key that fits. Hidden Treasure Christian School or Faith Christian Academy might be the perfect fit for your child. Contact our school office or visit our website to learn more.
Faith Christian Academy is not something I've mentioned because it confuses people. Faith Christian Academy, some people do graduate with their diploma. In fact, I don't want to say like there's a few, Faith Christian Academy is so that if you go to college, you're not labeled with the hidden treasure label that if you're from here, they felt was there. So about 12 years ago, Faith Christian Academy is hidden treasure. It's a little confusing. Some people call and say, I want to put my child in Faith Christian, and they think it's a Christian school that's for everybody. It's not. It's hidden treasure, but it's the ones, and it's all by their testing. Every single year, every child is tested in the school. Every year. And then every 3 years, they do the whole battery. And that is how, you do meet the diploma requirements to graduate. We had 5 graduate last year. 2 got their high school diplomas, and 2 got their certificate of completion. And 3 of those are on our adult ed first year because the parents just, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So it's kind of a neat thing, but Faith Christian Academy is on track for those who can. But even half of those that are in Faith Christian Academy actually don't end up with their diploma because it's hard. And they do have learning disabilities. And it just depends. I mean, if you have children, you can't make them learn. You can help them all you want, but it's up to them to also do the work. It is hard for them, but it's not impossible. And teachers really are very creative on how to accommodate and how to have those little breakthrough moments where they can go to the next hump. But all of us have been to school. We all know there's something that is not your favorite subject. Well, when the sooner we can get them, the better, because they have a lot of attitudes that come with them. I am working right now in the upper elementary. I have a 12-year-old boy who's on 2nd grade phonics. He has never been to a school like this. What he has been allowed to do, he's like a sponge. I love working with him. He's got this great attitude, and I am just, as a mother, we have gotten very close to this particular family. Him and his little brother are there, and all I can think of in my mind is, you should have started sooner, you should have started sooner. What he's been allowed to do to get by has been amazing, but now he's learning the why. And we fill the gaps. That's one thing, people can cope, but then you miss things. And he didn't know the value of the money. I know we're in a paperless society, but I work with 2 girls right now in math, and they didn't know what a nickel was. I mean, they really didn't know the name of a nickel. I'm not saying they didn't know that's money, but what's that called? Quarter? Dime? I'm not exaggerating. So we work with money, and I talk about my 5-year-old, how we go shopping, and how we go on girls' days, because I want them to go. And guys don't want all this money and this change. Guys don't want a jingle. Girls don't care. We don't mind. And so now the one, I love money. I said, who doesn't, right? But I'm going to have them on her, and I told this one girl, you're going to go shop at our cafeteria and buy yourself something, have your mom send the money, and you're going to go buy, and I told her, I said, I want you to know, I've already told the person in charge to give you the wrong change, and you've got to figure that out, what she owes you, because you know what, as women and consumers, that happens all the time when you shop. You've got to be on top of your price if it's on sale, and they don't, hey, you didn't put the sale price. Oh, yeah. So I want you aware. So we are practicing, they have quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies, and I just tell them, okay, I'm going to buy a cookie, it's going to be 35 cents, pay. And then I'm like, give me another way to pay. Not the same way, like a quarter nickel. Okay, give me another way. And they are their little mind says, how much is this? What's this called? What's a head? What's a tail? We take a lot for granted on something so simple, but the one is 12 and the one is 13. And we are working on something so simple, in addition to the math, adding, subtracting, or actually on multiplication. So that's one of the things I realized, the gaps where I just, we'll work on some of the other gaps like time. But then we're in a time where, face it, it's your phone, it's digital, who has a clock in the house? You see what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. I'm enjoying the change. I'm like, okay, how do we make this where they really want to learn it because it does apply? And you want them to know, but money has definitely rang a bell. I want to go on a field trip and go shop and make them earn their money, youth trips, how to pay for things themselves. So I'm just doing my best to motivate on ways I see, but that is what we do. Teachers see, okay, they're really good at this, but this is really hard, and because they're good at this is what they really don't want to do. How do you make them want to do it? And it's just teaching, but as such, we're not overrun our classrooms. Usually there's no more than 8 in a classroom, so that gives you a lot, and usually there's 2 in every classroom. Even in the high school, it's only 1 in the high school it is one teacher, but I don't think it goes over 8 in the classroom. It's usually 7 or so. So a lot of personal attention, a lot of you can ask. There's tutoring for those math classes. The teacher there has been for a long time, and he tutors all the time. So they're able to get it, but they have to want to too. And you all know that. As parents, it's easy sometimes to give up that battle, and we're hoping to help both ways. One thing we've started too new this year is called Family Fun Night. And that was one of my concerns, because sometimes you just need these parents to mix and have friends. Because a lot of times kids with special needs families don't get invited like other families do. They don't want to accommodate someone with autism that kind of just does some movements and it's like, okay. So, but they can accommodate each other. So we're working on things like that. We're also working on information. We're working on getting them people who can tell them, that's a third party, that's an expert about, like one we're going to have next is a lawyer to talk about medical power of attorney. At 18 it ends, the HIPAA laws come in effect, and you want to be prepared to have all that in place so that it doesn't miss a beat in your family trust. So we're working on that. We're also had someone talk about ADHD, had a professor come and who her specialty was ADD and ADHD. Ways to work around that, especially when they do homework. So we're working on trying to educate the community. As this grows, our hope is that we do things at night where it's open to everybody, not just our parents. So we're trying to kind of move forward, and it is affordable with the help that's out there, with the scholarships that are available. You just have to, A, know about our school, and then you have to come and talk to the administrator and see if it's like, yeah. So we do tours all the time. Are there any questions?
You mentioned you test students every 3 years, much like the public schools have had to do. What kind of other specialists do you have for a support team?
Well, we have therapists. We have not anyone that I've met here yet, but we have therapists all the time come. So the therapist is on the parents through their insurance and all that. So, but they come to the school. It's like piano lessons. Instead of you having to go bring them, they come to the school. We have therapists coming all the time for speech, for occupational. There's some behavioral for food, tasting, to get kids to have more than 3 things they will eat in their life. That's one that I thought was interesting. We have a music therapist that comes every Tuesday, and she is the only therapist that Hidden Treasure pays her to come. The rest are from the parents, and her name is Lisa Hansen. She is amazing. She trained up north with trauma and brain, but oh my word, you go down. I just call her class the happy class. Not that the others aren't, okay, let's be honest. But she has a guitar, a banjo, ukulele, and these kids, it is so cute. I mean, they are just having this, because a lot of special needs kids love music in a unique way that just really, and she is amazing. She's been there, I think, 17 years. She comes every Tuesday, and she goes just class after class after class. So, so that's what you have. It's just parents hiring, they come here.
Do you also have a music class, or does that?
Yes, we do. Did you see the time? Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. And they're going to be singing Sunday night. So yes, we do.
Hey, you were talking about, curriculum or something for ADHD or something. I don't know if anybody remembers, there were a couple of women that came to Greenville and they did a presentation. They wanted to start something like a school or so. Does anybody remember that? It was probably before your, whatever it was.
You might be talking
Couple
about
yeah, Robin, you might.
Einstein Academy, I think does a lot, it's either Einstein or,
But I thought it was like a new,
the other one that's on.
Camperdown.
a new thing.
No,
Doesn't Langston do a lot with it too?
no, it was another private, small
There was
private
some
school,
error.
like Einstein, that works a lot, they're off Augusta Road, I think, and they do a lot with kids with ADHD. They're off Augusta Road, it's called Einstein Academy, I think. So that's probably the one that you're thinking of that presented, but there is another one, I have to figure it out, but anyway.
Was there something about bridges?
But that's Lakes and Bridges, and that's dyslexia, and that's in easily, and it's,
It
a public
seems to
school
me
for
they
kids
were
with dyslexia.
starting up something new.
brand
A couple
new.
just didn't know if you knew about
I don't know if we
We
could.
want you to remember. No, like I found out here now, if your first diagnosis is dyslexia, they'll take you because most kids have several things. Not most, but a lot of them. And if your first diagnosis is dyslexia, you go to campground. If it is not, if ADHD is the first one, they won't take you. I talked to the lady there, because that was something I wanted to know, because my son is dyslexic, among other things, my son. And I went to class by the teacher to learn how to do it and taught my son. Then he tested out special ed, but he is special ed. But he just tested out because I used the method that they use, did it to him one-on-one, and his scores the next year were too high, and they said he doesn't need an IEP anymore. I'm like, seriously, wow. Because he still doesn't understand the concept why. But he's very high functioning, so I'm very thankful. You know, the biggest thing as a parent for me, and because I have a son who's now 33, who worked 6 years at Chick-fil-A and just got a different job, is they're very vulnerable as they get older too, even if they're able to do something, because people can take advantage. I mean, they do. People, it's like, because he didn't understand, I think I should be getting more since I come every day at 5:30 or 5 or 4:30 if you need me. I never miss, if I miss 2 days in a year, that would be a shocker. And by the time he left after 6 years, at 33, he was only making $12. Yeah, not happy, but how do you go to them and say, look, you need to be fair to my child? So these are the things, so I get this adult thing that we're going into, that end of the concerns that you have. But I have a son who's able to hold 2 jobs. He works also at Moe's. Fast food seems to be his little thing, but he's actually in security. So I get both ends. I have a real heart for what these families challenge, but I'm a kind of pushy mom, and I homeschooled all 6 of my kids, and 4 of them graduated. And it's interesting how it comes full circle for them, but for him, I'm thankful. In the community I'm in and learning, I'm like, wow, I wanted more for him. And it's really dreaming for your kids, and it's dreaming for them. And when they're tired and it's hard, just let's look, again, I'll help you. You don't clock out with special needs kids, as you know. You need to do your part to help them have a future. And Hidden Treasure is wonderful about balancing that, I think, with the parents and then with the student, to help the student just really progress. I mean, they take them where they're at and they move them. So 2nd grade in math becomes 3rd grade, becomes 4th grade. If you're in 5th grade reading, becomes 6th grade, all in 1 year. So it's kind of neat that they move at the level they can do, and we are very sensitive to size. That was a big thing for me. What we did, we had a boy who was adopted, and his first language was Russian. And so he was in our high school, so he was 17. The nicest guy. Yes, I have 5 adopted children. Obviously, I have a little bond for that adoption word for me. And so I was talking to him, and the thing for him is he didn't get the culture of our words. So he was in 4th grade spelling in the high school. And so he would come to Mrs. Goodwin, what's this word mean? And it was just the usage of the way we use words. And we all know our language changes every year. So can you imagine being where it's your 2nd language, and the word that's in the sentence in the book, he doesn't ever hear it. So it was really interesting. So there's a lot of things that we can work. It was really neat to have him in the school, to just realize he was not just overcoming, he was smart, but it was the language barrier. You know what I mean? It's neat. And we can accommodate so many things like that to just give him that boost to keep going. So is there any more questions?
I have one. For your adult program, you mentioned that it was all just males at this point?
This year, but it's going to be opened up next year, and I think that he already has a couple people lined up for ladies. And
What's your cap, I guess, on the number of people that can be in that program?
I don't know that there is one.
Okay.
That's a good question, but welcome at this point.
And what is the process of applying to that adult program?
Call the school. Usually we always do a tour. The administrator meets with every family and just talks about the philosophy. You want to be on the same page. You know, we don't want to be at war. They tour and do. It is a Christian-based school, and so they will be taught Bible. I do know that last 2 weeks ago there was a Muslim family that came through, not a problem, but when they heard that, they were not interested. So it's choice. I mean, this is just a private school, but that you need to fall in with the fact that, oh, good, or like in her case, that was just, I get it. I totally understand, but the Hidden Treasure was not a fit for her. Does that help?
What's your day
school starts at 8. Well, 8:20 actually, but 8 is homeroom. They can come at 7:30, and then it ends at 2:30 and 3:30. So the younger grades end at 2:30, and that's to get the carpool line through. I this year had the fun on Monday, Wednesday of doing PE with the elementary and the high school back to back. Yes, it is fun. Yes, I get tired. I sleep really well those nights. But I am competitive. I like playing games, and the PE teacher and I are the ones who do the special needs camps. He takes his side, I take mine. And we just have fun with the kids. So it's been really fun. They're doing one little girl this year. I've always loved sports, play basketball, go Duke. But we're walking to PE and she's new student. I hate PE. Cute little blonde. I hate this class. Why do we have this class? And we're walking. I'm like, this is your favorite class, you know? No, it's not. 3 weeks of that. And every time I saw her, she was just so, I'm like, you know you love it. All of a sudden, Mrs. Goodwin, I have new tennis shoes. I said, oh, you're going to run so fast. She goes, I practiced running. I said, you are just going to be. So that's the moments you love to teach. That's the fun of being with the kids, is seeing this little perception change in just a simple way. And, you know, in PE, you're learning to take instructions. It's moving. Some of our autistic kids, they kind of wander, and we let them. Safely, we're just, okay, he's a little, we'll just, so they're happy. But they do all the stretches and the exercises. Everybody does that. But I'm learning. Okay, someone who's really on the spectrum, strongly, their own little world, just kind of gets lost with the go, 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 go. What? Run to first. So it's been fun. It's been fun to bring normal to kids, and I would recommend some of them put their kids in sports just for the fun of being with the friends and just running around and having fun. Because just because they don't necessarily get all of it doesn't mean they can't learn a lot. You know, I'm amazed. Some of our kids up there play game boards, and I'm like, you don't know how to count 1, 2, 3 on Candyland yet? So it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning more than they are. I know that much.
So for your adult program, what's the time period for that?
It is like school, and it does run through school. So it's on the school schedule. It is off in the summer. So it's the same thing. So it would be there for 8, and it ends at 4. And they, on Fridays in the high school and elementary and Hidden Treasure, that part, they're done at 12:30. No lunch on Friday. But the adult ed goes till 4 every day.
Okay. And you mentioned the camps. Is that like a day camp that
It's a 3-hour camp,
after school during?
9 to 12 in the summer. So we
In
have
the summer.
one, I think, at the ending of May, and 2 June, with the week in between, 2 and June. And if you call, I can give you that information.
Does your calendar, is it run closely to Greenville County School District, or do you start before they do, or?
No. No. They do their own thing. And I only know that because my daughter is a public school teacher, first grade, and when I'm off, she's off. She's off. What holiday is it? Oh, 12 break. Oh, really? You want one of those? So I know we're not, I mean, you know, Christmas is going to be close.
Right.
Carol, you would know, it's not like major, but they just kind of go with their schedule. We're out in the middle of May. Not close to June.
When you start in August?
Yes. I think August 20th this year. So not like it's, because Greenville County is going up. I mean, starting sooner and sooner than they used to too. So, but they don't, you know, usually if weather goes, I think the first day of weather, they follow Greenville County, then they make their own independent choice after that. Since parents are driving their kids, it's different. You know, Greenville County, the buses can't drive, they can shut. Well, if the parents, it depends. Yes, ma'am.
How many students do you have enrolled?
Right now, we have 60. We had 61, and one of our high schoolers left just a couple weeks ago. That was very heartbreaking. He won an award at summer camp this summer, but so I know they've been in the 90s.
Okay.
The school can accommodate 100, I think, by fire code. Thank you for coming on Veterans Day, because no one's going to get mail today, so that means it's a federal holiday. Anyway. Anyway, Laura, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And Robin, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.